Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me.
Mew?
And talk
Who's
about
Mew?
Joe and Laura. Let's talk about Joe and Laura and sex.
Guys, you've been waiting for it since the beginning of the episode.
Since the beginning of the episode, it just started. Just started.
I'm already nervous.
Since the beginning of time.
Since the beginning of time. I'm nervous because this is Joe Barlow here. This is Laura over there.
Laura Lee Bishop here.
And we are giddy.
Yeah.
We're like little third graders who they're like, okay.
No, like sixth graders on the day when you had to watch that video when they split the boys and the girls up.
Oh, I thought you were going to say split the something else.
They split the boys. What?
No, I thought you were going to say they split the watermelon open and they all... Anyway.
No, when they put us into groups and they had little videos you'd watch and it was like, hey guys, you start wearing deodorant and bras and guess what? You're going to start bleeding out of your vagina. And here's why.
See, why didn't we get to hear about that?
You got to hear about your thing, which was your balls are going to, change and you're going to get hair down there and you're going to start wetting the bed with semen.
That I do remember that being confused. I think someone asked in our class, like, how do you know if it's urine or if it's semen?
Oh, no. Well,
I don't know if it was me.
Indicators.
It was either me or just someone I knew. But that's like the kind of question you have. You don't know. You've never had at that age.
A wet dream.
You've never had a wet dream. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
But you have peed the bed, I'm sure.
But don't you think if I knew what was going on with the girls in my class, that I would have more empathy and be more understanding?
What I think? I think they only give you what you can handle. Okay,
that's true. It'd probably be overwhelming if I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah, they're like, hey, all this shit's about to happen to you, and listen to what's happening to them.
Like
they're fucking bleeding.
Yeah, actually, the girls would probably get really angry. They'd be like, wait, they have to deal with is like occasionally,
have an orgasm in the night. Yeah, It's great. Yeah, so guys, the birds and the bees.
Oh, the birds.
P's and V's.
Okay.
And everything in between. Taints, if you will.
Are the birds mating with the bees in that expression, or are they separate, or what?
I don't know.
What is that?
We should look into that, but that's for another time.
Maybe the doctor will know.
Yes. Today we have a doctor.
Dr.
Susan Kaye. Okay.
And that's not like an initial.
No,
that's her last name.
Kaye.
Yeah.
And she is a sexologist.
Sexologist.
Baby. Ooh,
We're going to learn what that means. It sounds
sexy.
Sounds sexy,
doesn't it? Let's talk about sex, baby.
Okay. Yeah.
I know that you like it when I sing. Joe and Laura. Guys, stay tuned. We're going to take a little break.
And when we come back,
we are in sync, guys, for this sexy, sexy edition of Heavy Friending. Roll that music, Laura.
This is Heavy Friending. I'm friending you so hard. An alliance slowly forming like a boner in my heart. So if you wanna fucking friend me, better give me all you got. No, I don't take this lightly, cause it's heavy. Heavy friending. There is an eagle flying. Yeah!
we are back, and now we are joined with Dr. Susan Kaye. Hello, Susan. Thank you so much for being here.
Or should we call you Dr. Kaye?
Susan's fine.
Okay.
I used to make even my mother call me doctor when I got my doctorate.
Ooh.
I'm over it now.
Well, this is exciting because I didn't even know that you could necessarily get a doctorate in your field of study. But tell us about how you became a sexologist and what that even is.
So it started with just being totally interested in what bodies do. I started doing, yoga was my first intro. And I'm talking like in the early 80s. And so doing massage. I got massage training. And I landed in the office of psychotherapists, which was very innovative for the mid-'80s. Mm-hmm. But it really resonated with me, this whole concept, and the very forward-thinking therapist that put me in their office to do hands-on in a psychotherapy setting, which again was very ahead of its time. We had therapists leave the office because I was there. Massage was just coming out of the massage parlor mentality, and I was working my way through school, and of course I got a lot of slack from my parents. Oh, we know why you're driving around with your bed in the back of your car, like that kind of thing. So it was really at the early stages for just body work, let alone having a body work therapist in a therapeutic setting.
Right.
But what I saw in the office of people struggling with living with themselves from the neck down.
That is Joe, 100%. It's a.
Okay, we'll talk later.
You don't know my body.
I've seen enough of it to know it's a struggle for you and everyone else, really. But go ahead, doctor.
Okay. Yes,
Sorry.
doctor, please.
Yeah. I forget where I was. But I would have people on the table that were struggling with their own gender identity. So I had tits and dicks on my table at the same time. Can I say that?
Sounds great.
Yeah. So I had cross-dressers who wanted to come in and be able to wear lingerie and it was all this. None of this was sensual or sexual. We're under a therapeutic umbrella. However, I did go and get trained to be a surrogate partner, who was then called sex surrogate, and trained to...
Can you explain a surrogate partner?
Yeah, so a surrogate is just what it says, substitute partner.
So in the bedroom?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you would take them through 15 potential sessions of socialization, of basic touch, learning how to give, how to receive, how to go out and get a phone number from somebody they thought was attractive. I would send them out to buy lingerie, like the shy and, well, they were late life virgins, basically. People that had struggled with maybe some sexual abuse, trauma, anything where they were cut off from the neck down and weren't dating, probably never been kissed, never been with a woman. And it came out of Masters and Johnson out of the 60s. I don't know if your audience will know the name Masters and Johnson.
They will,
but yeah.
From Masters of Sex.
Right. Well, they had a surrogate segment in there because that's who created this therapeutic process. And I actually worked for Masters and Johnson.
Oh, wow.
I was out there in St. Louis. And
that's cool.
Yeah, I worked with clients for them. So I was doing that and the body work for the office, got myself through school. I graduated Villanova with a degree in human services, so I was going into social work, and the therapist who had me in his office, Dr. Bill Staten, who's in his 80s now, Baptist minister sexologist, so it's really interesting practice to be
That would be a
part
great
of.
reality show.
Combination I don't hear about.
Yeah.
He should start a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, you should absolutely have him. I'm going to be with him next week at it's called Just Sex Conference. It's Baptist ministers and sex therapists
Probably
coming
gets pretty
together
wild,
in
right?
Tennessee. Yeah, well, we'll see.
He's at
I
the
don't
bar,
know. Yeah.
at the hotel pool. They wear their undergarments, but just from the waist up. Nothing from the waist down.
They could have lacy bras
Lacy stuff,
on.
right? There you go.
I mean, that's probably what's really under those ribs. Yes. Yeah. So, with my doctorate, again, continued to train massage therapists to do what I did in the office, but I also then trained surrogates. So that's my work today, Institute for Mind-Body Therapy. We train people to be surrogate partners, and we have women who work with men and women. We have men who work just with men. We have men that work just with women. We have a transsexual that does work for us. So we try and cover with diversity. So it's different from sex therapy. I mean, I do a therapeutic process with clients, but I'm not there to to sit across the desk for 2 years and talk about them being virgins, which is what sex therapists will do because they don't know what else they can
Are
do
you
with
listening,
them.
Joe?
Go
And
ahead.
Just pay attention.
so my focus as a sexologist is what's going on in your body with you, and then you with other.
So, do you see these couples in intimate scenarios? I mean, do you see them? Do you ever witness or watch or to coach them through?
I do not,
Okay,
but
Is
I
that a
have
thing
people,
that people that
I do it all the time. So I just don't
sexologists
know.
might do? Would they, or is that a different thing?
Yeah, not somebody with a degree.
Yeah.
If they're legit.
Oh, okay.
Now-
So I get it.
But we have people. But
Yeah, you're not qualified.
I'm not legit.
I think you should take that off your,
I've got
your
to
LinkedIn
know a bunch
page.
of people who would disagree.
Well, I'm sure you're supportive, but
Yeah, I'm very
but
supportive.
you're not helpful in the same way. No.
There's lots of things you can call yourself. People are calling themselves all kinds of things
That's true.
today.
That's
and
true.
Doing both neck up and neck down work. But for those who want someone that really does have some training
Mm-hmm.
in psychotherapy and development stages of life, which is what I'm really interested in. Like what happened to you from 0 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened to you, was there religion on board? Was where did you get your sex training? Where was your first masturbation experience? Like what was that
Joe,
like?
where was your first masturbation experience?
Well, this is a good question
Mm-hmm.
because it leads to my question, which is I think a lot of people are
How
probably
to do
afraid
it.
to
Yeah. What is
how
masturbation?
to. Where does it start? No, but like I think a lot of people are probably uncomfortable to answer maybe a direct question like that. Like Laura just gave us an example. So, I mean, how do you break through? Because it's not necessarily a subject that people are used to talking about, especially to a person that they don't necessarily know that well.
It's way easier to talk to somebody you don't know.
Is it?
Well,
I
think
think
about
so.
it.
Yeah.
Think about it. There's no.
I do.
It's not
Tell
comfortable
them
for me to
why.
talk
I
to
just
anyone.
feel that
Say why.
it's
Yeah.
easier because I think people have these preconceived notions about you and they are going to see you again and you have to face them in other settings, It's just even talking, I don't really talk to my friends about a lot of these kind of things because it just I don't even want to imagine those things with them. They don't really want to imagine them with me and it just kind of makes things a little awkward later, I think.
I feel like you talk about it to me all the time.
I said with my friends. Okay. I don't know what part.
Don't
you
act cool in
understand.
front of the doctor. Okay? You're very desperate to be my friend.
I've just led you to believe that so I could tell you all of these weird things and then just back away.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I should have brought my notepad with
Yeah.
me.
There's a lot of stuff to unpack here for sure.
Well, we were saying before we got on mic that it's kind of interesting that your clientele used to be, people 48, in that age range because things are maybe changing physically. But now you're saying a lot of people are more like Laura and my age, right?
Right.
Explain this transformation.
Yeah. Well, I attribute it to the access of porn. It's on your phone. And those folks that had to push themselves to go to the dances, to maybe ask a girl out, the shy ones, the ones that weren't into athletics, those.
Don't look
I'm
at
gonna
me,
say-
Laura. She's
Sorry.
looking at me, doctor.
I'm not going to get into it.
I
with you
really,
two.
no,
I'm
we
sorry.
really got to get into him today. We do because he
We're not getting
needs a
into
lot
me.
of help. You do,
I don't
and this
think
is
I
a
need
great
help, but it's-
opportunity.
Well, I'm sure we could all use some help.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, so
You were saying.
the times are changing due to
Yes.
porn.
Yeah. So I think porn has something to do with it. And, that we are more, young people today are much more sexually liberated. In many ways we're still oppressed and suppressed. But there is opportunity to be more liberated. And so they can get their needs met in other ways. So the guy that used to force himself to talk to the girl or ask her out on a date can just go online now and pull up somebody to talk to.
Right.
yeah. Well, and I saw it was interesting that there was some article I saw that said like actually people our age and the younger generation are like having sex less. Have you seen this?
I did hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that because of like you're saying? I mean, I could just stay at home with my
With your computer in
Macintosh.
your hand, yeah. And just
Right.
and maybe that wasn't a thing before. But I also think I would argue that it's so much easier to date people now, because you can meet on 5 different
what do you think about
apps.
these stupid fucking apps?
Don't
Well,
let her taint
I
you.
think they're bad. That's what I think. I really
Yeah.
do. I haven't heard anything good from them. Everything I hear is just so cold, and you're so removed from everything, and people are just boom, boom, on to next, on to next, on to next. They feel like they don't have to make anything work with anyone because they've got like a plethora of people to choose from right at their fingertips, and it's just swipe, bye, 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 bye.
Well, there's extremes in everything, and it's finding the middle. And because we are so much more sexually liberated on some level, and that we have all this opportunity and devices, I see it that it's way over here now because we were over here not that long ago.
Right.
And so it's where's the middle? And I think we're just trying to figure it out. And when we're pushed one way or the other, I think people then if there's a freedom there, we have more opportunity to evaluate. And that's a good thing. Because when we're repressed, you might act out and do things that are more harmful or not really what is you with you. It's really evaluating who you are and what you're seeking for yourself in an experience.
Okay, so we've talked a little bit now about how it is for single people and how it's kind of changing for the 20-somethings now coming into your office. So relating to me, I'm just had my 1-year anniversary. What about newlywed people? How much should people be having sex? How much is normal? What is healthy? And how do you keep a healthy sex life and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know yet? Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I don't let anybody say what's normal. And that's my book that's coming out
Oh.
early next year.
Wait, really?
Okay.
It's called
Yeah.
that there's no normal?
It's called Am I Normal If? Because that's what I hear in my office.
And the answer is there is no normal.
Let's see what's natural for you. Because we so get crammed into the normal box, which changes daily practically. And how do you keep up? And how do you know? And am I normal if I do this? Am I normal if I don't do that? And so when you ask me, I'll address your question. When you say what's the normal amount of sex, or what's natural, or that's the largest sex organ for a couple is your communication.
Oh, that's it right there. That's an aha moment.
It could be small though too.
If you don't communicate,
If you don't communicate,
yeah.
it's your
They've got a
tiniest-
small one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's talking about what are your needs, wants, and desires? What are your partner's needs, wants, and desires? And can you communicate that and negotiate it? And that's what I
Kind of
want.
like if you let me put this there, then I can stick a thing in there, and now
Should
we're at
it
a
be
compromise.
a barter system, do you think?
Yeah, barter sounds like somebody's
Compromise.
losing. I
Okay,
don't know about
okay.
that word, but it's
But
opening up that
the
door.
idea of like you do this, I do this.
Well,
is that-
so what if your partner says, I have to tell you something. I really like to dress up in your underwear when you're gone. And you go, well, that's unacceptable. I'm leaving. Right. So that's one. And so then he says, all right, no, never mind. I'll give it up, which they really just stash it so that when you're gone,
Right.
so it's these things that
So
we
a good
do.
compromise would be, please don't wear my underwear because it stretches them out. But we could get you your own.
Let's go get yours.
Right.
Or I can do this with you one night a month or something.
Right.
We can design it all around what you need.
Right.
And then we get one night a month that's designed around maybe some things that I need. So it's learning the give and receive. We're not good at knowing what the definitions of giving and receiving are inside of relationship. The guys are trained that give her orgasm, you're responsible for her having a good time. And the girls are like just receiving.
Pillow princess,
in
they
the
call
sense that, in the sense that, well,
I'm a queen, though.
I don't
pillow
want.
queen.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't imagine you being quiet, but that's
I
a good
can't.
thing.
I can't imagine it
That's a
in
good
any
thing.
context. Yeah.
But it's really what happens. And when we get married, then that thing where we were talking about earlier, it's easier to talk to a stranger than somebody that I have emotional investment with.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're married, that investment now just upped the ante.
Mm-hmm.
So how do I bring this forth that, I've discovered? I really don't like the way you jam me with two fingers.
Yeah.
Well,
Put a whole fist in there,
Yeah, well, all right. But it's then he'd be like, well, it was all right for 2 years. Well, I just didn't speak up about it.
Right.
And we don't. We get through it. So in learning to give to receive and learning that receiving is something that it's mutual. Like, how do we both learn to receive without feeling we have to give back? Mm-hmm. And it's all about communication.
Yeah.
This was interesting because you pegged Laura. You're like, oh, I could see you being this X way. I see you being vocal or whatever. Mm-hmm. Do you think you have insight? Like when someone comes into your office, can you already kind of like gauge like, oh, this is what I think?
Like Joe walks in, you say, I don't know, 3 inches, fully erect. And
is that how people start sessions?
that's how I'd start when I evaluate people. So I just assumed she did the same. But.
No, I did before I had my degree, but when I got my degree, they
Then you
ruined
stopped,
me. I have to do all this other fancy tap dancing now. Well, it goes back to, because I didn't feel we answered your question, Joe, about the how do you talk to somebody about masturbation?
Mm-hmm. Well, that was not my question.
See, he wants to know, though, so let's help him.
Well, so it'll tie in.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's
good.
Okay whether you want to know or not.
No, I do.
So I have to
I'll
tell
say
you.
no, but then if you tell me, I'll be like, okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't really want to know about it. Yeah, so it's really incredible, and I feel very honored that people trust me with their information. And I do intakes over the phone. Some of them I see, some of them I don't. If they want a more personal interaction, I can do Skype or Zoom or, FaceTime. And so I have 5 questions, and it's the 5 pieces that are covered in my book. Is the first thing is tell me about 0 to 5. We don't have cognition till like 5, 6 years old. You're not going to think, oh, mom and dad are fighting just because they're upset with each other. Kids are feeling insecure. Mom and dad going to get a divorce. Am I going to be left alone? Or, did I do something wrong? I should have been, these are the things I'm looking for. What was your sensuality experience from 0 to 5? With your senses. How did you feel? What did you see? What did you hear? What did you smell? What was life like? So then religion. I want to know if religion's on board and what impact was that. Your sex messages. Did mom and dad sit you down? Or was it from a trauma experience, like one of the priests down the street? Mm-hmm. What was your first introduction to this thing?
HBO, Skinamax. For me.
See, everybody knows.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Way too close. I would turn the TV on and sit like 2 inches from it with the volume down all the way. Sometimes I'd show penis late night on like real sex.
Was this scrambled or did you pay for a premium?
They had premium, but my
premium.
Parents would be asleep and I would go and turn it on and watch it when I was little. So I knew what sex was before all my friends. I would tell them, first the man takes his head and puts it down on the lady's crotch, and then then the woman does the same thing. I mean, I knew all these crazy things just from HBO.
This does make a lot of sense.
It does, and it was probably, I would say, in the 0 to 5 range. So,
wow,
a bad time to know those things.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a bad time, but it was your time.
It was my time.
It was your time, and it's. To do an intake with you, I would look for the thread that runs through your relationships, where you are with your own body, where you are with your essential sexual life, and see where that thread has followed you, the good and the bad of it, or what serves you and what doesn't serve you.
Right. What about you, Joe?
What?
How
What
did you learn
age
about the
I
birds
don't
and the bees?
recall, honestly.
Where you first started hearing about sex, or
I did. It wasn't like a. Maybe I blocked it out or something, but I don't really have a strong. I don't even remember sex ed that much.
We had abstinence only at my school.
Yeah, we. I don't because I know everyone's like, oh, I remember the banana and the
we didn't
condom
get
thing.
that,
I don't know if that happened or didn't happen. It just doesn't. I remember like labeling parts on a overhead projector or something, but I don't remember really ever learning too much about it.
And
I just
he still
know
has a lot of questions, and so it explains a lot.
So yeah, and like what?
And so
and
again,
we all
what
know
is?
this,
And
but
we're still
what
wondering
is
what is
sex?
masturbation. He still wants to know that,
No,
and
no.
we haven't.
Yeah. So
I'm sure that you could remember something, Joe. Come on, give us just a taste.
I'll think while we're talking, but
Okay.
I don't. I'm being very honest.
Take the pillow off
Because
of your
actually, I
lap.
had this thought occurred to me the other day. I was like, I don't remember, my parents sitting me down, or I don't really recall. Not to say it didn't happen. I just don't know if it
my
did
whole
or
life,
did
my
not.
mom was always very. We said vagina, penis, like. If anyone ever touches your vagina or touches you, and my mother was she always talked to us about everything. So our whole lives, it was like, if there was a subject, it would be discussed, and it would be discussed a lot. Even though I kept saying, I've seen it on HBO. I don't know what you're trying to tell me about. I already know about that.
Did you tell her that?
I remember being at the age where the parents were doing the talk to the kids and my mom trying to talk to me. And I was like, Mom, I already know what all this stuff is. And she was like, why? And I said, well, you have HBO. So, I mean, that was my teacher, and a masterful teacher at that. A masterful teacher.
We'll be right back. Hey.
Hi.
You order a pizza?
Yeah. And I need you to come inside and open it up.
Rumor has it this is supposed to have extra sausage.
Ooh, big juicy sausage. Open that box
Well,
and let me see that salty pizza.
okay.
That pie, if
Floop.
you will.
Take a gander at this bad boy.
And I'm a bad girl.
Okay, that's
Okay, I need you to-
$38.
Oh, I don't have money for a tip. Sorry, can you please leave though now?
Well, how about I
Bye.
leave you a tip?
Oh, tell me. Is it about a podcast that you listen to?
Yeah. And my peen.
What's the name of the podcast? Is it Heavy Friending?
Yeah, and I recommend, this is the tip part,
Cool.
I recommend you visit their Patreon page.
Oh, I've heard of this. Patreon.com/heavyfriending.
Oh, yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
we have something in common.
We do. Aside from that juicy sausage we both love so much.
It is succulent.
Because you love putting sausage in your mouth, right?
It is one of my top 2 toppings. Flavor toppings.
I love flavor toppings.
So, tell me
Almost
again
as
what
much
happens on
As I
Patreon.
love heavy friending. At Patreon, the patrons come and they come all over that page.
No.
And they come and give money to that podcast and help support amazing
You're confusing.
content.
So wait, can I just do any amount of money I want?
You can do any amount you want. You can do all the amounts.
Because I want to impress those 2 hosts.
Joe
So I'm
and
going to give
Laura?
them a lot of money.
Yeah, you can give them a lot of stuff.
Oh.
You just come on that page
Stop.
and give them all that stuff. You give it to them monthly. and
Some
you,
say that's all you need.
it's all they need just a monthly pledge of your reward.
Oh, it's so big or small. That's the beauty. Any
However
size
you want.
is appreciated.
They don't judge the size. They
No.
just want it.
They're just
they just want
desperate.
it. They're open to
They're
it.
sad and desperate.
So go to patreon.com/heavyfriending and just come all
Okay.
over that.
I gotta
page.
go. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so I'm here today with a young heterosexual couple who has come in with some questions about how do we keep our relationship fresh and new and exciting. Like we're just newly married and we see what happens when people go down this marriage road and we don't want to end up like that. So they've taken proactive steps to pick up the phone, and they found themselves here in my office today. So I'm curious, though, to still hear your words. Like, how did you come to be here, and what would you say would be your goals?
Gloria, would you?
Sure, Schmo. I just want to kind of break down some walls. I just feel like there are a lot of walls between us, that he's not very open all the time with me. And that makes me feel isolated a little bit.
So when you say walls, so do you feel that he's built a wall and you feel on your side, or do you feel that the wall's been built by both of you because of your feelings also of not being included enough?
That's a good point, because I think that's maybe part of it, that the more I want to be on the other side of the wall with him, the more he wants that wall to go up.
Yeah.
Oh, he
So then that
agrees.
has you...
No, I was just saying yes. I was just accepting it.
If you could
Okay.
please not
Oh.
talk, because I'm talking to
Sure,
her
sure.
right now.
No,
Thank you.
Empower yourself with silence, please. I would like to talk more about our feelings. I would like to maybe, in an intimate way. Like, I don't know why we can't spoon. I always just want to spoon when we're falling asleep, and he always just wants to be on the other side of the bed. He says, I'm hot.
I am hot. I
You
get
know.
hot.
Yeah,
I
he's
run
always
hot.
Yeah.
he says.
Excuse me.
I wanted to interject, and I get hot. I'm hot now. This topic makes me hot.
Thank you for sharing.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I felt it needed to be said by
He
me.
is. See, he's
Well,
always. I
Schmo.
appreciate
Yeah.
it because you are
Yeah.
backing
Well,
me
now
up.
I feel like a wall's being built up for me.
Oh,
too.
okay.
I think we
sorry.
should build a wall together. Build that wall. Build that wall.
Schmo, be careful.
I'm just saying we could.
Okay. All right. So we'll let that sit.
Okay.
But I think I have some ideas.
Okay.
Okay. Schmo?
Thank you for now turning to me. My problem is, I think I'm just trying to
No,
give.
I'm going to stop
yeah.
you. And I need you to know that I interrupt
Good.
because I know what I need. And so in order for time frame, I'm just going to
Good.
cut through.
I like this.
So when you're going down a road that's not serving us,
Great.
I'm going to cut you off.
Let's do it.
I love that.
Okay. So just why are you here today?
Well,
And what's your goals?
we're newlyweds, so and I'm feeling that bubble still inside of me, but it is like, we pop the champagne bottle and it was real fizzy, sprayed everywhere, and there's still bubbles in the bottle, but it's a little flatter. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to recreate that foaming action that we had when we first, got together.
Okay. So what would be your goal?
Just more foam. It's a cold, refreshing experience every time.
Okay. So tell me what foam means to you, because that's a visual I can't really
I'm getting a good visual on
wrap
it.
my
Well, it's
I'm
hard.
seeing kind of like
Excuse you.
explosion
This is my
of sorts.
Yeah.
Doctor, I think this is my time.
Yes.
Gloria?
I was trying to back
That's
you
true.
up.
Well,
Shmo.
it's
Well,
good.
and I like that,
It's good for you to have a voice too.
but I
so-
need a voice too.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm not clear on what phone
Yes,
means
I
to
think
you.
the hard thing for me is it's hard to
Could I
verbalize.
interrupt you again?
Yeah.
So when you say I think, it's like you're not really sure.
Yes.
Like you're being kind of waffly about it.
That's
So
exactly right, because I don't know. I just know it's more of a feeling, and I'm
then
afraid
say
the
I
feeling's
feel.
going away.
Then say I feel.
I feel that I think the feeling is going away, and I want foam.
He wants to
Tell
spray.
me what.
But how do you?
phone-
Oh, I guess it's excitement. Foam means
Okay.
excitement. I don't feel the excitement.
Okay, now just sit with that for a minute. It's not different than saying I think I want it foamy.
You're right.
Can you get that lands differently in like maybe your heart and maybe your dick, not sure. But it lands.
Well, she can answer that question.
No, I'm asking
Well,
you.
I'm afraid to say.
Why?
It's not a lot of foam. If you know what I'm talking about.
I have a little bit of an idea because we've got excitement, but
Now we're talking
I'm still
about.
not sure what excitement means.
Yeah, it's just joy. I think
What's
it's joy.
missing for you? Like
To
what
me-
would be a missing?
I do get hot, and I then I
He gets
pull
hot.
away.
He
so
does
it's
get
like,
hot.
We're done, and then I'm like, please don't touch me because it's too hot,
He's so physically just hot,
physically hot.
sweating a lot.
Even if I'm not doing anything, I'm just sitting around. It's wet everywhere.
So air conditioners, fans, something you could do. Go take a
that's
shower.
Well, that's
Go
a
take
good
a
idea.
shower. We could take a shower together.
Go take a shower.
Okay,
Okay.
I've never been into that
Taking a shower.
with another person.
Well, you don't have to do it together.
Yeah, because then it's like I'm out of the water, you're in the water. Now I'm cold and I'm hot and I'm cold. It's
Yes.
all over the place.
Okay. So this is
Slippery. It's a dangerous.
all right. So do we have kind of an understanding or agreement here what we're looking at?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's the hot.
It's the hot.
It's
definitely
really-
that
We're
just
going to
boils
look
down,
at the
he gets
hot,
hot.
issue for you.
Yeah.
And we're looking at that you want to be closer, and you
Right.
feel that this issue has built
And frankly,
the wall.
sometimes I'm cold, and so I want to
Yeah.
get some of his warmth too, like the
put off a lot
spooning
of
that I
heat,
want.
yeah.
I want to be close because I'm kind of trying also to get warm. So really, I guess we're coming down a lot to body temperatures here.
Yeah. Well, temperature issues with couples is huge.
Oh,
You just know you're in a big boat.
Oh,
Now, not
wow.
in the exact way you're explaining it,
okay.
Yeah.
but temperature issues in the house, in the car, in the bed, whatever. It can really tear people apart because, like, I can't live with him because he has to have the house too cold,
Oh,
right? So just know that you're not alone in
Okay.
your question about is there a middle road? Is my answer. My answer is there, to look at where's the middle road.
Right.
Okay. So you set a timer to snuggle.
a snuggle.
So
time.
like you say, I need 5 minutes. So you set a timer and that's all you do is snuggle.
Okay.
And when the timer goes off, then you can say, well, I could go get a shower and we could have another 5 minutes. Or, just start to look at what do you need? Do you need to go stand out on the deck for a minute? Do you need to have the fan on? Take a look at what can you do within a time frame. Setting the timer and having time frames saves relationships.
That's a great tip.
That's
Doctor.
genius.
And I think this was a great session.
That was.
I just feel a lot closer now to you.
My timer's about to go off.
My
on a
timer's
great
about to
session.
go off too. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? It's
Doctor.
counting down.
And scene.
Excellent.
Wow. That actually was really interesting
was.
because I'm sure that happens a lot where people sort of approach with different ways. So you're sort of mediating, but it wasn't even necessarily like a sexual quote unquote problem.
But you
Right?
were
But it
great
was-
at pulling out an answer,
Yeah.
especially
But it's all connected, right? I mean, the emotional side of things, the physical side of things. So it is really about like, let's open up the communication. What's she saying? What's I'm saying, right?
What she's saying and what you're hearing. And you wanted me to throw out some tips. So
yes.
the communication game called the 3-minute game. So we have the 3-minute communication game, verbal game, and we have the 3-minute physical games that we teach. So again, the timer. So in the communication game, like we would set the timer, and so you get to pick a topic. So we're just going to say this is your topic, okay? So you say, I want to talk for 3 minutes about this issue about snuggle and hotness. So for 3 minutes, you get to say what is going on for you about it, what the wall, the missings, the desire that you have. The timer goes off, you reset the timer, and for 3 minutes, you say back what you heard her say.
Ooh, okay. That's not what I was
Like
thinking it
adult
would
telephone,
be. That's good.
mature telephone.
That's really good. And so in that process, we're learning that maybe there's a disconnect between what's being said and or hopefully I'll absorb it better.
You're getting to learn how to listen. We think communication is about talking. It's about listening. So you get back what you heard her say, and she'll go, that wasn't quite it. So you get another 3 minutes until it lands. And we also put structures in.
People could really take advantage of that, I think. I wasn't quite right.
It's a filibuster.
I'm going to put another 3 on the clock.
But you only do it maybe 3 times.
Right.
Because you don't want to frustrate. You're not there till midnight.
Yeah,
Right.
that would, yeah.
And you say, okay, we're going to do it 3 times. If we don't get it, we'll pick it up next Tuesday when we have our talk time. So you build in real structure to your communication and your time together. That doesn't just mean, we're going to set the clock and have sex for 10 minutes. This is
Well,
building
he wouldn't
your...
make it 10 minutes. I mean, that's quite a feat for him.
Well, that's another session.
Yeah.
So
The recovery time is 20.
Yeah, it's a 2-minute burst with about a 3-hour refraction sort of period.
gotta-
a hot refraction.
Ugh, so hot.
You should
Always
start
hot.
with stretching. You agree with this, right? You always start with a good stretch.
Always? I don't know about
You got to. I mean, you're going to
Who's
hurt
you?
yourself in there.
Who's you?
I'm just saying.
So
is a-
here's another one of my pet peeves. I mean, you're hitting them all tonight. So
He will do that. Let me tell you.
I get it. So when
She
you
gets
say
it.
you're deflecting out there like it's me or somebody.
It's you,
No,
buddy.
I think
when
there's
you
a lot of physical therapists out there who would say stretch before every physical activity.
Well, maybe you should interview them. But for right now,
What kind of sex are
When
you
you-
having?
It's a very aggressive.
What, wrist, forearm?
I
So-
always
Yeah,
hurt
he's always
myself.
doing a little arm
I have
thing.
tennis elbow a lot.
Yeah.
well, that could be back to our other topic we
Right.
were talking about.
Yeah.
Precisely.
So he does know what it is.
That's one subject.
See,
I'm
it
aware of.
always comes out. You know, they come in here
The
with
truth
their,
comes out.
I am
believing
getting
their own
looser.
story.
The more I talk to you, but I
That's
do think
good.
it would take me, at least a session to warm up to the idea of I have to discuss this
Right.
and verbalize it because you're not necessarily used to how to phrase things, and you're good at pulling out like, what exactly do you mean by foamy?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that's a common phrase people use, but
Never.
I might say
Never
foamy.
heard it before.
I might say
One
foamy.
means
She
foamy.
might say foamy, and we might mean 2 different things.
That's true.
So,
You're getting it.
thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much for all your help today because I think we're growing in many ways.
I just redeemed myself off of my earlier stuff.
Thank you so much for being here with us
Oh,
today.
it's very-
It
Thank
was
you.
really
Yes.
fun.
And my final question is, what do you think about these robots that they're building
Yeah.
for sexual purposes?
Yeah, it's another way to separate us out from our emotional connection to ourselves and to others. Yeah, it's sad. It makes us sad in the field to see that this can then even more separate us and give us more permission to not really have emotional connection.
Listeners, you've heard it here first. Dr. Susan Kaye warns, beware of robots.
I've been saying this for a long time too.
Yeah. And so thank you so much for being here. I think we learned a lot. I think Joe's
Yes.
probably going to, when you leave, maybe get in touch with himself. And I'm real happy about that. And I encourage you, Joe,
Thank
to
you.
explore
We
yourself.
encourage everyone listening to this.
Yes.
Take some time and check in
Check in.
with yourself and the ones you love, and maybe do a 3-minute exercise.
Yeah. And warm up always, as Joe said.
I
before-
advocate for it. This isn't what the doctor necessarily ordered, but I'd say stretch out, loosen up.
Guys, thank you so much for listening.
And
to
know
Heavy
your body.
Friending. We'll see you next week. So what kind of stretches are you doing?
I don't do them. I'm just saying
Just
I
like,
advocate
are
for
you
people
stretching
to stretch.
your dick? Do you like give that a stretch?
No, that could hurt. Ultimately, that
Doesn't
could
it
hurt.
stretch though? Isn't it
Yeah.
stretchy really?
Yeah. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
All right, are we
Right.
going to do my show here, or are we doing your show?
Exactly. Exactly.